All right, today we're pulling back the curtain on the three absolute fundamentals of every single Forex trade: pips, lot sizes, and spreads. You can think of these as the money controls for your trading. Get these right, and you're in the driver's seat. Get them wrong, well, you're pretty much just gambling. So let's get into it.
So let's just get right to the big, scary question, the one that probably keeps a lot of new traders up at night. Why do so many of them lose money? It's a huge fear, and for good reason.
And the answer, it isn't some secret Wall Street strategy. It's almost always a misunderstanding of these three basic controls: pips, lot sizes, and spreads. Think of them like the gas pedal, the steering wheel, and the brakes on your car. If you don't know what they do, you're gonna crash.
Okay, let's start at the very beginning, with the smallest possible unit of measurement. Before we can even dream about profits or worry about losses, we have to know how we're measuring the market's movement. And in Forex, that little unit is called a pip.
A pip, which stands for percentage in point, is just the tiniest standardized step a currency price can take. The best way to think about it is like a penny to a dollar. It's that base unit that everything else is counted from. It's the building block.
Now here's the first little detail you just have to remember. How you count a pip actually depends on the currency you're trading. For most pairs, like the euro versus the US dollar, you're looking at the fourth number after the decimal point. But for any pair with the Japanese yen in it, you're looking at the second decimal place. It's just a market rule, one of those things you just have to know.
So for example, if the euro USD price moves from 1.1051 up to 1.1052, that's a 1 pip move. See? We're just looking at that very last digit. That's it. Simple as that.
And then, here's the complete contrast with the yen pair. If USD JPY moves from 150.12 up to 150.13, that is also a 1 pip move. But here, we're focused on that second digit after the decimal. Two different types of pairs, two different rules for counting.
Okay, great. So we can measure price movement in pips, but a pip by itself doesn't have a set cash value. So, how much is 1 pip actually worth in real money? Well, that's where our next control comes in. The value of each pip is totally up to you, and it's determined by your lot size.
Let's break down the most common sizes you'll see. A microlot is the smallest one. With a microlot, every pip the market moves is worth about 10 cents. A mini lot is 10 times bigger, making each pip worth around $1. And a standard lot, the big one, makes each pip worth roughly $10. And listen, if you hear nothing else today, hear this. Your lot size is your #1 risk control. It's the most powerful lever you have. A bigger lot size doesn't just mean bigger potential profits, it means bigger potential losses for the exact same amount of pips the market moves against you. It cuts both ways.
All right, on to the final piece of our puzzle. Every single trade you ever take has a small built-in cost. It's not a commission you see on a statement later, it's right there in the price you're given, and this cost is called the spread.
The spread is simply the tiny difference between two prices that always exist at the same time. The ask price, which is the price you can buy at, and the bid price, which is the price you can sell at. That little gap between the two, that's how your broker makes their money.
You've actually seen this a million times. It's just like the currency exchange booth at the airport. Their price to buy dollars from you is always a little lower than their price to sell dollars to you. It's the exact same idea. And because of this, it means every trade you open starts out immediately down by a tiny amount, the exact size of the spread.
Okay, so now we have all three of our components. We've got pips to measure the movement, the lot size to give those pips a dollar value, and the spread, which is our cost for making the trade. Now, let's put it all together and see how a trade's outcome is actually calculated. Let's run through a super simple scenario. Let's say you get into a trade, and the price moves 30 pips in your favor. Fantastic. You decided to use one mini lot, which we know makes each pip worth about $1. Well, the math is pretty easy. 30 pips times $1 per pip gives you a $30 profit before we subtract the small cost of the spread. You can see that direct, powerful link between these three things.
Understanding this simple math isn't just a technical exercise. It really gets to the heart of what separates a disciplined, professional-minded trader from a gambler. One is carefully managing these controls, and the other is just pulling a lever and hoping for the best.
And these concepts are directly linked to the biggest mistakes that sink new traders. The #1 account killer, hands down, using a lot size that is way too big for their account balance. Other huge ones are totally ignoring the spread, or even crazier, placing a trade without even knowing how much each pip is worth.
It all comes down to focusing on a potential jackpot instead of managing the very real risk.
And that brings me to this quote, which really, it just says it all perfectly. Your lot size should never, ever be about how much you want to win. It must always be about how much you are okay with losing if the trade goes wrong. That single shift in thinking is a complete game changer.
So, I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. The next time you go to click that buy or sell button, stop and ask yourself, am I using these controls to carefully manage my risk, or am I just closing my eyes and placing a bet? The answer to that question is going to define your entire future as a trader.
If you want more content like this, make sure to subscribe. And to get started with trading right now, check the link in the description. See you there.